Hello everyone and welcome down to the Red Bull Ring for what is the final event on this race weekend calendar. So, the Austrian Grand Prix is a race that has been sanctioned back in 1964 and then it returned to the Formula One calendar in 2014. And now here today, after the events of yesterday's qualifying, here's who is on pole position. The man, the myth, the legend, Josh Everts, taking yet another record-breaking pole position. And then behind him, his teammate, James Knox. So a Renault 1-2 for the first time in this league's history, and then followed by the new arrival for Camber F1 team, Hera Foxy, shutting down critics by going into P3, and then Tarasevic in P4 for Ferrari, and that's followed by Marquez in P5 for Lahama Ferrari, and then P6 Hera Brooks, who still hasn't showed up yet, and then P7 we've got Link Lloyd for Ferrari as well, and then behind him in the Apollo E-Tech we have got, rounding up the grid, O'Quinn. So I'm joined by Texan for today's Grand Prix. What do you think
Hello
is
everyone.
gonna...
Let's actually light out soon. Sorry for just to cut in there. 6 lights. And we are racing in Austria. Josh Everts with a great start. But Hera Foxy has the better of James Knox. Into turn 1 we go now. Is there going to be any collisions? No, everyone is safe through. The Ferrari of Link. Oh no, not Link. Link going wide actually. Quinn being on the tail of the Ferrari, and is going to be now going into turn 1. Play did not start actually. He is sitting on the grid. Something must have happened to him. He might have... Don't know what happened to him, but he's just standing on the grid now.
Yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate for him, but it has been an amazing start from Josh Everts. If I'm correct, has he gone down to P2 or is he still leading the field?
No, he's still leading the field. Blade is just... he's not in the correct position.
Okay, so it's actually a hectic fight between Hera Foxy and the Renault of James Knox, but Tarasevic looking to get involved as well behind. Has he got the move done? I think he has. He gets ahead of the Camber. The Camber car really struggling in his first race for the team. But the Renault boys seem to have gotten along very well. Now, I'm really concerned to see if Josh can avoid this Williams car on the grid.
Yes, he did.
I think it has gone back to the pits in time. So Josh leads with a comfortable lead already, pulling away heavily from his teammate, who have maintained positions at the start. And the driver that has unfortunately let down a wee bit has been Hera Foxy, but I think there are a lot of laps left to go in this Grand Prix, so I'm pretty sure he can claw back the deficit if he gets some moves done. As he goes down the inside, Lloyd, he takes the position off of the Lahama Ferrari, but that was an amazing switchback, and he's got the faster speed into that corner. He's taken them back, but Link Lloyd's now got the slipstream down into the braking zone. Is he going to go for a move? He's going to think about it. He's going to commit, and he makes the move yet again. That is some fantastic racecraft, but I don't think the Lahama Ferrari is finished just yet. Is he going to go try launch a move? I think Link has pulled away just enough to justify. Oh, and just as I say that, Marquez goes into the grass. That has really, really disappointed. Oh, God, I feel bad for him, and that's an Apollo E-Tech into the wall. That's Quinn. Oh, has he got damage? I'm not entirely sure. Goodness me, it's all going down in lap 3, and we've not even got halfway into the race yet.
A lot of action going on already. As Lloyd actually, Ferrari, they're crossing the pit line. I think there might be a penalty already for the Ferrari. Something has happened between Lloyd or Marquez. We don't know. Might be investigated, but Lloyd, of course, went over that pit lane line. That is not allowed even a bit. As a lot of action is already going on. The
Tarasevic goes wide, and now he's got Hera Foxy down on him. He's going to be breathing down his neck, looking for that position. He's going to commit for the wider line. I don't know if that's going to make the move work, but we're going to find out in mere seconds. No, he stays behind. Tarasevic just barely escapes keeping that position. Oh, but that was close. He went wide, and he could have nearly lost the P3 as well.
A lot of action already going on of this Australian Grand Prix. Amazing battling and some spins actually. 2 people have already spun. Lloyd. Oh wait, I think it was Lloyd, Marquez, and it was Q. I don't know who that is actually. Let me check. Quinn. It is Adam O'Quinn as well. So there's already a gap building between 5th, 6th and 7th. Lloyd with the biggest gap to 6th, of course. But now trying to catch up because he pitted. But he might get a penalty for crossing the pit lane line on entry there.
Yeah, it looked like he went back and he went reverse on the track to then get back into the pit lane. So the stewards will be looking into that. So not looking good for Link Lloyd at the moment. Meanwhile, his teammate Tarasevic in P3, he's starting to build a wee bit of a gap behind him and Parafoxy. But in that battle and going wide off the track, he's actually lost time up ahead to James Knox, who is also fighting his own race to get to his teammate Josh Everts, who is also pulling away at a ridiculous rate.
Yeah, a lot of battling going on already, but the top, I think fourth and until second is in a DRS train right now. Knox is not yet able to be in the DRS detection of 1 second yet. Ooh, I've said it there, sorry.
Especially these 2018 car regs. There's a lot of dirty air being produced, so Tarasevic is definitely going to be struggling a wee bit to keep with James Knox, and that's actually compromising him with Herafoxy, as Herafoxy will definitely have the DRS. He's a lot closer to him, and if he does get a few more tenths into that car, is he going to go for a late move? I think he looked at it, he definitely considered it, but it hasn't been committed to. He nearly loses the front end as well. It's very, very hectic. It's absolutely insane how close these two are fighting for it. And I think it's going to be another commit. Oh, was that weaving? Was that 2 moves under overtaking? I'm not entirely sure. It looked like a bit of a weave as Foxy goes off a wee bit too wide. I'm not sure if that's allowed. That's definitely going to be.
Oh, oh my goodness! What a save!
That was close. That was close. And as I thought Foxy had just missed out on the opportunity, he's now actually back at it into the corner.
Oh,
I don't know if it's going to end well. They've both gone wide. And that's not enough.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
There's a collision!
Oh, holy cow! That did not end well for both drivers.
Virtual safety car is now out. For that, what happened just there? Ooh, big collision between the Camber and Ferrari. That Camber does have a lot of front wing damage there. You can see it being not correctly, as well as the Ferrari.
Goodness me, I don't know if that's going to be able to be repaired at this rate, but that has ruined both the races. What was that Ferrari thinking? It was a move that was not to be contested. Both of the car trucks being driven off the track on a very wide line. It was not going to end well the minute I saw that move about to be executed. How this is going to impact the races now, I'm not entirely sure. But if I'm not mistaken, is that a virtual at the moment?
It is a virtual, but because we don't have any safety car drive, it is basically a safety car, but there's just no visible safety car, you know?
Okay.
So they're all going to be bunched up together. As
that might give Herafoxy a bit of an advantage to get that wing fixed.
Yeah, but as well as the Ferrari, and there's some
down the order. He's going to have to fight back to get that position. That is such a shame for the driver who had a lot of potential heading into this weekend. But obviously we've got a long way to go, so let's hope to see that this doesn't impact his race too badly.
The Ferrari and Camber will both be going to pit. They both overtake each other, and yeah, they are all going into the pit now. Well, not all of them. Only the Ferrari and Camber is going into the pit lane. The Ferrari actually overtook the Camber, but because of them going into the pit, I don't know what happened there. Probably going to be massively investigated after the Grand Prix has concluded. As they both pit now, seeing who is going to be out first, who has the less damage. Who's going to be out first?
All eyes are waiting. It's going to be Herafoxy. Herafoxy leads the pit lane first. So yeah, I think that's going to be really good for him. He's obviously in P6, but if this...
Wait, that Ferrari still has front wing damage. Sorry to just cut it. Oh, wait, no, never mind. You continue?
No, I think for a second I did look like he was broken, but now he's left the pits and it looks fine. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have to wait and see on his performance if that wing has been fixed or not.
Hopefully it is fixed for every driver, because you will not be wanting any sort of damage. Front wing, rear wing, side pod, or even suspension damage. Suspension damage is one of the worst. If you do get it though, your race isn't over, but you will be losing a lot of time to the person in front, because your steering is going to be the opposite direction basically of your tire.
And especially in such a long race where your tire wear and your grip is pivotal to making sure your car is positioned in the correct way. Having suspension damage, especially something that can't be repaired as easily, yeah, that's really going to impact your race. You want to make sure you don't get fat tank slapper into any of the barriers. A small trip into the gravel won't hurt, but you don't want to be in the barriers, as the safety car will be ending. Josh, when is he going to let the guys go? He's weaving, he's going to go down into the next corner. When is he going to accelerate? I think he's off. Yes, and he's off. And James Knox still hasn't left. He's bunched everyone up. Is this a team strat that they have been executing here? Have they left James Knox to nap a wee bit and hold back the field for Everts? Is that even allowed? I'm not even sure. One thing is for sure, Hera Foxy and Tarcevic are going to be trying to making as much moves as possible. Down into the next braking zone. Who's going to be going into each other? The two Ferraris are right on each other's cusp. Who is going to be given priority here? Or is it all elbows bashing as they go down into this DRS zone? I think DRS has been switched off for the next few laps. So it is going to be pure racecraft if they want to make up positions for the next few laps.
Yeah, a lot of action already going on from the virtual safety car restart. I think as the Ferrari goes through now, yes he does. Lloyd will be defending from Hera Foxy though. That is very smart from the Ferrari team, but it's going to be very unlucky for Foxy in the camber. Oh, as a car behind.
Also, I think the Quinn Apollo E-Tech, he's gone round with respin again. I just don't think he's set into the car as well as he should have over the weekend.
Marquez
and that's Marquez
actually spun as well.
Into the pits. That's definitely not intentional. I think there has been a bit of damage, maybe a bit of a coming together. That is such a shame for the Lahama Honda driver.
As well as Quinn is as well pitting now. Knox, the 1-2 for Renault already. 3-4 for Ferrari, but...
Oh! As here comes Hera Foxy down the inside. And Link Lloyd's overshot the corner. He's gone wide and he's lost the position. That is such a shame for the Ferrari driver. He knew he had to brake a wee bit later, but he broke too much.
Oh, yes, there's actually...
Goodness me, what's happened here?
Oh, something... Oh, something just happened? Quinn ulti forward, it seems like? But
Was
Quinn
that
and
a pit lane
Marquez...
block?
Yes, it was. The pit lane was getting blocked.
Okay,
So they were,
that is definitely going to be looked into by the stewards, because that does not look like something that he can get away with. Obviously, such a shame for the Apollo E-Tech driver, but you have to be honest here that should have compromised a lot of races if people were in the pits and that happened at a later lap.
Only Marquez was in the pits, as Quinn, I think, actually rejoins now. Yes, he does, but he's going to be really, really behind. Some extra laps behind. Type of
course, Tarcevic is now 3 seconds behind, but it's almost as if that coming together never happened, as they're both back in the position that they had before the virtual safety car. Granted, a wee bit further back from James Knox, but they're back in the fight. Meanwhile, the two Renaults going, have they got team orders going? I really hope not. I want to see these two go for it at each other. This is a race win we're talking about, and I think I'm right, as through goes James Knox for the race lead. That is an unbelievable move by this young Renault teammate. Josh Everts is definitely going to be a wee bit confused there. He's going to be wondering why the team hasn't prioritized it. He is the championship leader after all. Is he going to go back for that move? Time will tell.
Yeah, so far I think... Is Everts going to pit? No, he isn't. Everts might just be defending from Tara Sevic or whatever his last name is. He has a nice last name, don't get me wrong, but very hard to pronounce.
It's all going down.
Ooh, as Daniel actually goes wide there onto the runoff area, as Foxy will now be able to get onto that DRS and that slipstream of Daniel. Will he be going for a move?
I'm quite surprised Tarasevic's actually got the DRS. He looks to be quite far behind. I think he's just managed to get into the 1 second gap. But he will be wanting to use that DRS, because if he gets further behind than 1 second to Everts, he is going to be really vulnerable to the camber car of Hera Foxy, who is completely trying everything he can to make sure he can get into that podium position.
Yeah, so far, 2 Ferraris and 2 Renaults in this race. 1 camber and 1, I think, yeah, Lahama. So, many cars. Well, not that many. 6 drivers only. Two
Of course,
Ferraris,
it's been a
two.
very competitive weekend, so a lot of drivers not being able to make the final races. They believe that pace is not something they would have under their sleeve. However, the drivers who have shown up are proving to be absolute forces on the battlefield, and we are yet to see if Tarasevic can hold his defense up for a wee bit longer. As relentless as Hera Foxy is attacking, Tarasevic is holding up his Guardian shield and making sure that the move is not being executed. But I think he might have it this time as he goes for it again and down into the braking zone. He's going to go for the switchback. Does he have more acceleration heading out? He's got the slipstream, that's for sure. He's got the DRS, and he is side by side heading down into the braking zone. What's going to happen here? He's waving. Oh, goodness me, he's
completely lost the wheel there.
I think that's it. I think he's given up. That's another virtual. What's happened there?
He's going still. Does he have suspension damage though? It doesn't seem like he has suspension damage. That will be good news for the Ferrari team. But he does have a lot of front wing damage there.
The good news is, though, is that there has been another virtual. And now James is going for, I think he's going for the pits. What is Everts going to do in reaction to this? Is he going to go as well? I don't think he has.
No, he has.
No, he has. It's going to be a double stack by the Renault team. How is this going to play out? I think this means that
Foxy actually leads the Grand Prix now.
Will be taking the lead. Is this the first time in his career that this has happened? I'm not entirely sure. What I am confused by is why Everts and Knox have gone into the pits. It was only a few laps that they had stayed out for. Had they gone in at the previous virtual? I'm not entirely sure.
But the thing is, the camber of Foxy might have more used tires, so Foxy might be getting overtaken by both Renaults and back to the same place he was. Maybe third or fourth between the Ferrari and camber car.
What is important though is that if Hera Foxy can hold back the Renaults for as long as he possibly can, then when he pits, he will be at an amazing advantage. However, that is a huge feat to ask for. So only time will tell to see how this race goes on.
We will indeed, as many fastest laps are now going through. A 106.5 I think is the fastest lap. Is it?
It was definitely in the 103s.
Oh no, freeze.
I'm not sure for this this current session, but the fastest lap time across the weekend has been a 103.5.
Yeah, but I mean the race. So 6.5 is the current fastest.
6.5 is the current fastest lap.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the system there. It's glitching a bit.
So, virtual safety car will be ending on the next lap, FIA have announced. So, all eyes are going to be on the Camber F1 team, who have made their first race appearance on lap 13.
Actually pit us now.
They are leading, as the Lahama has gone into the pits again, I think just making use of the extra time that they have, as they can clearly catch back to the field. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. What Renault have to be careful with is the fact that if they do go for some really risky moves, the Ferrari of Link Lloyd is right on their cusp and can pivot onto them if they do make a mistake. So they have to be cautious with their racecraft. They have to be careful, and they should not compromise each other. If Knox messes up with this overtake, he should let Everts pass. That is the rule of thumb if you are racing in a team. So only time will tell. Tarasevic, meanwhile, he's completely grinded to a halt. Is this him out of the race?
Is it? We don't know yet. Or Tarasevic might be just getting his car completely fixed. Or he might be out of this race.
What I am thinking is he might be out because there is no delta on his leaderboard at the moment. So I'm not entirely sure. But we'll have to see.
We will see if he does come out of the pit lane. But if he doesn't, then he is out of this Grand Prix. He was having a very good to an average.
He was having a great session. That was up in the podium positions. He was fighting for P3, but unfortunately, he's made the same mistake again. Essentially, what happened was he had the DRS flap open, and he made too many moves under braking, and he's just lost the back end. And especially with having the DRS flap open, that's definitely something you shouldn't be doing. You should try to keep the car as straight as possible. So a bit of a rookie error for him. I'm sure he's going to be very gutted with that, but at least he finishes in the P6 position. And I don't know if that counts for points, but it's definitely better than last place. As here comes the virtual, it's finally over. How is Hera Foxy going to lead the charge? Is he going to wait for a bit? Is Knox going to try anything? Is he going to go in alongside him like Verstappen to Hamilton last year? I think he's gone. And yes, it's the same team strat that Renault performed at the last virtual, where they've let the leading car go off while the remaining tries to hold back the field. Has that benefited in this case? I'm not entirely sure. But Foxy leads going into these final few corners, as no, Tarasevic has not retired. He's just been fixing his car, and he is back into the fight, but he will be lapped shortly if he's not able to close the gap. Hera Foxy leads comfortably, but I think, yeah, James Knox is right on his tail. He has to be careful that moves that he deploys is not going to compromise his line to Everts, because Everts is going to be wanting to make sure he makes up those two positions as quickly as he can. He is in the title fight, and those are crucial moves that he has to perform very soon. Meanwhile, Marquez is trying to fend off Link Lloyd here. Is it going to become the first time that we are seeing the Lahama fight near the front? I'm not entirely sure here, but I don't know if the move is going to be... I'm not sure if the position is going to be kept for much longer, because we all know Link Lloyd is an amazing driver. But only time to tell. I'm not entirely sure. Is what tire is he on? Is that a meat? Is he on the?
Oh, we don't really know what tires everyone is on.
Yeah, 2018 tires. I'm not really up to date with them. But it definitely looks like he's on a slower tire compared to the Ferrari of Link Lloyd. Meanwhile, I'm actually quite surprised that the Camber has actually held the lead here. But now I think they're going to have DRS. Yes, they do. The letterbox swings open wide. I think he's just a wee bit too far back, though, to make the move. So it's not going to be into this corner. I don't think it's going to be into any of the other corners either. It's going to be until next lap. So Hera Foxy's got an amazing advantage here. He just needs to make sure that he keeps those Renault cars behind, so that when he pits, he has a tyre advantage.
As James Knox now gains a lot on Foxy, is he going to be able to overtake him on the main straight? He might be backing up a bit here. Ooh, yes, he does. He goes a bit
He
wide.
goes very wide.
But now he will have the DRS coming into turn 1. Foxy actually does have DRS as well from Tarasevic. Knox warming up his tires a bit.
Tarasevic, in a way, is actually helping Foxy keep the lead here, because that DRS is probably what's keeping him ahead. He's on an older tyre and a slower compound at that, so it's really amazing to see that he's actually keeping the pace.
As Tarasevic locks up. Ooh!
Oh, goodness me, that was a heart-clutching moment as James Knox nearly went into the back of Hera Foxy.
Everts actually
and I think that,
now
like I said, that has compromised his line, and Everts is now trying to make the move, and he has made it stick, and that unleashes the championship leader, and he's now going to have a go. Meanwhile, Valk, what's going on here?
I have no idea what is going on here. He just reverses it all. Anyways,
did these guys really graduate from F2? You have to ask that question.
I don't think they did. They just came into F1.
But there's some Lance Strolls in the lobby.
Tarasevic actually is now slightly but surely getting a cap to Foxy, so he might not be getting lapped anytime soon now. It was 2 minutes 10 seconds, and now it's 2 minutes 2 seconds, so he is for sure gaining a lot of time now. Might be able to unlap himself if there is a virtual safety car to come. But now it's in between the top 3 battle. Knox close to Everts, Everts close to Foxy. Who's going to be coming out victorious in this battle?
Now they go down into the DRS zone. This zone is notorious for overtakes, as we have seen in the last 18 laps. Is Everts going to launch a move down the inside or the outside? What line is he committing to? As Foxy squeezes him, but is he going to make the move stick? I think Everts has just managed to get it, and Foxy has to settle for P2 because he needs to make sure he defends from the other Renault who's preying on his gearbox there. It's going to be on it. I don't think he should be too disappointed with that. He is on an older compound, so the fact he kept them behind for that long itself is in itself an amazing feat. What happens now, though, is how he conserves those tires to get to his next stint, and then how he uses that tire
Foxy
to pull
actually
himself back to the
loses a lot of time. Knox is coming back at Foxy now. Is Knox going to be able to overtake Foxy? Ooh, as the Cam and Renault does hit each other a bit. Knox is keeping himself at bay for turn 1. But Foxy does not have the slipstream as Knox is. Is Knox going to go for the move into this turn?
He's going to try over. He's going to look at it, but he's going to stay back because he knows that this is the straight where he can make the move, where the DRS is most powerful in this track, where the elevation will support the overtaker. Is he going to commit to the move? No. He's going to sniff the rear end of the camber, but he's not going to make the move until he is absolutely certain he can get side by side. And all this squabbling for P2 is once again letting Josh Everts crawl away with that P1 position.
If he does win this race, I think he really deserved it. He has been trying since Bahrain to go from pole to first. He has not done that yet. He has won a race and he has gotten a pole, but he has not gotten both combined. As Knox gets the better exit of Foxy, Knox goes in to the inside of Foxy. Will he be able to go for the overtake? Foxy makes a bit later than Knox. Knox stays a bit more patient. Knox does the switch back on Foxy though. He goes through. Foxy will have the DRS of Everts. And Foxy will not have any slipstream now. But Foxy does keep at side by side with Knox. Knox does go into the turn with the most powerful DRS.
The wider line, he's going to go for the switchback and he's going to go. I think he's got the DRS as well. No, I think he's just missed out. Or does he have it? I'm not entirely sure. I think both cars have the DRS. They're side by side going into the braking zone. Who's going to come out victorious? And Foxy takes the wider line. Is he going to go for the switchback yet again? I think he's just missed out. Is that a Ferrari?
A Ferrari is spun there, just waiting for everyone to go by so that he does not hit anyone. I am glad he did not become
That could have been brutal for the top 3 there. That could have been a coming together of the ages. And I'm glad everyone got through unscathed.
Luckily everyone did. As Knox does have the fastest time of 106.519. Improved from a 508, but now it's a 519. 519 milliseconds. Off of
I'll tell you what. Everts might be leading the race, but James Knox has really been setting the pace when it has come to fastest laps around this track. He's really been able to push his car to the limit. And I think if he does get ahead of Everts, he will have the advantage. So it's all about who's got that DRS and who's got that track position when it comes to this race. And now what's going to happen is I'm trying to see if these two Renaults are going to... Oh! And Josh Everts has gone wide, and that's going to give James Knox a wonderful opportunity to get ahead. And Josh has made the same mistake again. He's let his teammate out into the fray, and now I definitely think there's going to be no team orders. James Knox is going to want that position all to himself. As Tarasevic has left the Grand Prix, he has retired from this race. I think 2 minutes down the field, hope was just not there. And I think it's just been better to retire and conserve parts for next weekend.
Yeah, poor Daniel Tarasevic though. He was doing amazing. He was
doing an amazing job, honestly. It's such a shame because it was not even like minimum points positions. That was at the top 3. That was at the right end of the points positions. So it's really a shame that he's lost out like this. But now that does leave only one Ferrari left fighting, and his name is Link Lloyd in P5. He's got in front of him a Lahama Ferrari, a Camber, and 2 Renaults if he wants to get any chance of winning this race. But with a gap so big, I doubt he's even in the fight anymore. So the only people who can possibly win this race are Knox, Everts, and Foxy if he plays his card right with strategy.
Lloyd actually does pit for a new set of tyres. We don't know what tyre though, because it does not really display. Even the tyres on the screen you see right now, it does not display the actual tyre they are on. So it might seem like they're on ultras, but might be on a complete different tyre.
I'll tell you one thing for sure though. Strategy looks like it's really going to impact this race at the moment. Both Renaults are on, I think, the fastest compound tyre, while Foxy is on the slowest compound tyre. So just the fact he was able to keep up on such a slow tyre really shows that Foxy has got an amazing handling of each compound. And it's going to be really interesting to see who can... Oh! And I think the camper's gone off there. I think the camper's gone off.
Yes, he has. The camera's gone off. Marquez is in the third now. Lahama, the first time in the podium positions, but Hammer Foxy will not be happy about that mistake. He has front wing damage as well.
Oh, he has front wing damage. That is devastating for the Camber car, and it's at the start-finish straight as well. Goodness me, that's going to be such a shame for the Camber car. if it was at least on the final corner, he could have just gone into the pits, but at least he didn't do a link and go backwards the way. Otherwise, that could have been even more worse when it came to the penalties. Yeah, that's a shame. He was doing really well.
The Paul Camber of Foxy and as well as Tarasevic the Ferrari both been doing extra well this race, but the luck is not on their side. Or even might be some driver mistakes. Sadly, not anything really has been lucky towards them, as the race is actually now coming into a nice calm phase, as Knox has a lead from Everts.
Oh,
Everts is a lead from Marquez.
I think the damage is not too bad for Foxy because he's going to keep going.
Yes, he is. Pretty ballsy, in my opinion, to go with a bit of front wing damage. I don't know if he's going to be like losing a lot of performance or time to the car ahead.
I'm not sure. We're gonna have to look. We're gonna have to keep an eye on the deltas to see what happens there. He's only 5 seconds behind the Lahama. It's really now just a fight for P3 at this point for Harold Foxy, unless there's another virtual. So all eyes are now on James Knox to see if he can best his teammate and get that win. I've not been watching the races up until now. Has James won a race yet this season?
No, he hasn't. So this, if he does win this is the first, yeah.
So this will be his first race win if he maintains it. We're almost at the halfway mark for this Grand Prix, so it'll be really amazing for him if he does. But like you said, Everts wants that pole to win conversion. He wants it with an iron tenacious grip, so I'm sure he's going to be fighting and giving it everything he has. As the Lahama Ferrari now comes out of the pits.
That is Valk. He has actually entered the race now, and he's going to be a lot of laps behind. I don't know if they will want to be racing him. We don't even know how many laps he's behind. It's all it says is SSF.
Yeah, he's so far behind that the timing system has completely had a nightmare. So I don't know what he's racing for. Maybe collecting data for the next Grand Prix. Oh, and here goes Everts down the inside. Is Knox gonna make the switchback move? I think he's got better traction on the wider line, and he's gonna keep it side by side. He's gonna want to stick through, and but he's just missed out. And James Knox back down into second. Still got the fastest lap though. I think the DRS really aided Everts. His setup is a lot more aggressive on the straights. So it's going to be interesting to see how Knox can claw back the deficit through these really tight and twisty corners.
Yes, I think that was a bit of traction control used. You could have heard it a bit. As they come across the line now, Knox into second. Paul will be Josh Everts will be very happy about that position. He is in currently. Knox as well. It's a 1-2 currently.
It has been really amazing to see these two battle it out. Obviously, such a shame that we've lost Hera Foxy, but he has made the move on the Lahama Ferrari, and he is now up into P3. So back where he was, but he has got a big gap of 16 seconds to make up for.
I think Marquez.
Although it looks like he is clawing it down at an increasingly rate. As I said, 16 seconds. It's now at 15. Actually, maybe no. Maybe it's just a braking zone. I'm not entirely up to date on how this works. And Knox gets a bit of a tank slapper as he enters that straight. Is he starting to experience tire grip problems? Is he starting to get a bit of wear on those tires? Time will tell. What is important to know, however, is that whatever Knox is experiencing, it will be the same for Everts, as they both pitted at the same time onto the same tire in the same team's car. So it is really an equal fight now for this P1 position. And it is going to be a true testament of racecraft and strategy to see who comes out on top here at the Red Bull Ring. And so here we go down into the braking zone. You want to make sure that you keep the guy behind by compromising his line, by sticking the rear end in front of him. But Knox has failed to do that as Everett gets an amazing run. He's right up the gearbox as he's going to try commit for the wider line. He's going to try force himself round. But Knox is unable to take the position. Everts just manages to squeeze out ahead. And he keeps it again in P1. Knox is going to have to try something else. He's going to have to try something else because Unfortunately, that strategy is not going to work anymore. Everts is too smart for that. He's learned how his teammate races that corner. He's going to have to try something that Everts is not going to be looking at. He's going to have to try attack from a different angle and hope that Everts sees the position. And here we go, down into for lap 28 of this Grand Prix. Everts still leading, but Knox closely following behind. Hera Foxy 18 seconds back in P3, while just a few seconds behind him, Marquez in the Lahama Ferrari. And then Link Lloyd in the factory team for Ferrari, not in a very amazing P5. We've lost in this race.
Now.
We have lost Tarasevic, Valk, and one of the Apollo E-Tech drivers. But it is still a ferocious race out in front. As Hera Foxy comes back into the pits, I think he's pitting for some fresh rubber, as he knows that the front wing damage is definitely impacting his performance. How long he's going to stay in the pits, though, we need to wait and see. So as James comes round for the final corner of lap 28, Everett still leads out in front. I think the gap is starting to really build here. And no matter what Knox is throwing at him, Everett seems to be keeping he's keeping it cool, he's keeping it clean, and most importantly, he's able to keep him behind. Despite the lack of DRS, he's really able to understand the car placement and the track knowledge, and he's really improving. Oh, just the commentator's curse, mate. Just as I say that, he goes wide and Knox takes the position. He goes back through, but Everett has got an amazing run because of that wide entry. Is he going to go try stick it down the inside? No, he's going to keep it clean. He knows this will be an amazing result for the Renault F1 team if they get both cars finishing in the top two positions. So he can't launch any ballsy moves, even though there is a gap of 21 seconds behind them. He needs to keep it clean. Meanwhile, down the field, we have got Hera Foxy now pursuing the Ferrari of Link Lloyd. These two have not gotten on very well, as both of these drivers have had multiple comings together in practice sessions. So what happens with them is going to go in history if they do not keep it clean for the next few laps. However, as you can see in the Delta screens, Hera Foxy is closing the gap to Link Lloyd. It's fluctuating, but it is decreasing. As Knox keeps the lead, is Everts going to go down the field, or is he going to keep that position, or is he going to try launch the attack? Is he going to go for the offensive? We'll check back. But right now, here we are with Foxy, as he has slowly been cutting down on the on the gap. What he's going to want to do is he's going to want to try and slowly edge himself closer to that Ferrari. He is obviously on the harder compound, but I think that is because he's going to try to take this compound to the end of the race. However, that will be 27 laps, so I'm not entirely sure if that's possible. As Valk goes around for another spin. I don't know why he's racing at this point. Bro's got no hope. As Everts is taking the lead again. Is this new? I'm just confused at this point. However, something I do know for certain is that Hera Foxy is going to try and make the move on the Ferrari of Link Lloyd. Has he just ceded the position there? It looked like he had no straight line speed heading into that Link Lloyd. As Hera Foxy takes back P4. Now ahead of me, he's going to set his sights on 11 seconds up the field. Just Marquez for Lahama Ferrari. He's going to try and edge closer as we can look at Knox and Everts, who are absolutely squabbling out. It's a fight. It's a true fight between the two Renault drivers, as we're having absolutely everything at it today. Knox has the advantage when it comes to track position. He positions his car perfectly, but the extra traction from Everts means he can try hang it around the outside, but because of the short distance that the inside lane takes, Knox is able to outbest Everts and take that position, and now he is up in P1. Meanwhile, I think that is the Lahama Ferrari of Valk, who has to now be lapped. So I hope he sees position.
Valk actually.
I mean, that's one way of seeding position. That works. I don't know why he's racing, man. I don't understand. Maybe he's actually right behind him. We just don't know. But yeah, Knox now leads the Grand Prix, but Everts obviously isn't going to be giving that up. I have said that about 5 times, but the amount of times these cars have swapped over, it's like, I don't even have a good comparison for this. It's just insane. They're just not letting each other have this win. They want it for themselves.
As the runners keep on fighting and giving us some entertainment. Oh, as Knox actually loses in there, drifts a bit, but he does not lose too much time to Everts. You could see his steering wheel going a bit left. What a save from him.
It has been absolutely amazing to see these two. They're deploying different types of racecraft and trying to see who can get this race win. They're obviously trying their best. It's a really hard situation because they're both teammates, so they can't be too aggressive with each other because they need to make sure both of them finish this race. It's a result for the team, it's a result for the constructors as well. They have to think of each other and not just themselves. But when you see moves like this, such as Everts following so closely behind, not having any fear that Knox might suddenly just slow down, you have to wonder if the drivers are really thinking that, or if they're in the heat and the adrenaline. As that looked way too. Was that a swap around? I'm not entirely sure because it did look like James Knox slowed down there on entry to that corner. Or was Everett just braking a lot lately? Does he have ABS on potentially? I'm not entirely sure.
I don't even know what their strategies are. I think or they're either fighting or they're just well
Dancing.
yeah, dancing in the rain. As the sun
Because
is.
that looked way too
Team
multi-21 to me. It didn't look like Knox was fighting for that position at all. He just gave it. It's a bit surprising for me. I hope team orders aren't at play here. They are both in a voice chat as we speak. So I hope Knox is giving everything. We want to see fighting, not scriptures. I'll tell you one thing though. One thing that the leaderboard loves telling us is that James Knox does have the fastest lap. So he definitely has the pace to be fighting up front.
Is Knox going to look for an overtake here, or is Everts going to... I think Everts... Yep, he did it again. It's happened again. Everts giving the positions... Everts gave the position again to Knox. But
I think I know what's happening here. They're not dancing. They're trying to do some DRS checking.
I think they most likely are, but Everts completely went wide there. I don't think that was planned, as he is very... well, not that much, but he is pretty far back now.
Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what their course of action is, but one thing's for sure, it's definitely interesting.
It's very interesting what they're trying to do.
It's kind of mind games going on here. One thing's for sure, though, Everts is suddenly a lot further back.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of time to Knox now. I don't know. Knox might be slowing down as well again for that turn.
James Knox is someone who has been kind of under the blankets for a lot of this weekend. He has been closer. He didn't attend the FP1. In FP2, he got P5. And then only in FP3 did he start showing his pace with a P3. Then for qualifying, it was a P2. And that's when we were starting to even consider him as a potential rival for this race. And now, here he is, leading the Grand Prix. That is simply amazing, considering the fact that he is P9 in the championship at the moment, with a measly 4 points to his name. The fact that he's leading the Grand Prix, simply something else, if you ask me. He will need these points, and that means if he wins this race, he will be leaving with 29 points to his name, which will be bumping him up to P3 in the championship.
29?
29.
26. Remember? 25 for the wins and then 1 for the fast lap. As Everts actually goes in the pit lane and going on a new set of tyres. Knox might be going in for the,
So the last race was the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so James Knox, who was P9 in the championship with 4 points to his name at the end of that weekend. If he wins this race, if we're considering a point for fastest lap as well,
We are.
that will be That'll be 30 points, and that'll be enough to get him up to P4.
No, it's 25 points, remember?
Yeah, 25, and he's got 4 points already.
Oh yeah! I thought you were just talking about this. I was so confused for a second there.
No. Championship standings.
Yeah, I was about to like, I don't think that the championship, like you don't get like 29 points for winning a race. I don't think so.
No, yeah, 25 will add on to his total of 4 points currently in the championship, which is quite insane because obviously a driver of his caliber, you'd expect him to be further up the field in the standings. His teammate in P1 and then himself in P9. He only made the move to Renault this weekend after everyone believed he could fare in a championship winning car. And that's exactly what he's doing right now after pulling a gap of 22 seconds to Everts, who I think has pitted and now has made him slightly susceptible to Hera Foxy if he does not warm up those tyres in due course.
I don't know why someone has actually just said something about the attendance. The attendance is not that good, I agree. Like what it's...
The attendance
like,
has been better in previous race weekends. I just think that something...
I think people
there's a
might be
philosophy in
busy,
this league, and that's that people are not very...
happy with the track.
2018 is in a bit of a sweet spot. It's in a bit of a weird position at the moment. It's almost at the edge of being a classic, but it's in the turbo hybrid era, which means that people aren't really interested to race in these cars. That might change with 2019, which are some really nice looking cars, if you ask me. A lot of hype for next season as well. So
And as well, I think the track, I don't think it's really liked by everyone, and I don't think it's that exciting.
yeah, a lot of people have been complaining. Obviously, for us, we're able to quickly flick over to different points in the race and show you all the highlights. But for each individual driver, there's only a couple of overtakes for him. Save the Renaults, as Knox now comes back out in P2, as Josh takes the lead with an amazing undercut, almost 1.7 seconds. He's actually just doubled the gap, and he's actually made up a lot of time. So was that team strategy there, or was that just planning from Josh? I think I was the latter.
All I know is that so far James has had a fast lap of a 106.5? Oh no, 106.1, sorry. As actually Foxy is now gaining into second and first, but I think Foxy
This is because Foxy already made a pit stop. And I think his tyres are about 5 to 6 laps older. But he is there, yeah. He's only 7 seconds down. And if one of these two make a mess of what they're currently having, if the two Renaults have it coming together, then that will be an amazing opportunity for Hera Foxy. I'll tell you someone who's having a bit of a hard time though, Link Lloyd, who's got both Lahamas breathing down his neck at the moment. Bunch of tyre banging, bunch of clipping here and there. Marquez,
actually...
goodness me! He's gone into the back of the Lahama as he barges off Marquez.
What in all...
Oh no! Oh goodness me, he's into the wall. As Valk, the lapped car, goes into... I'm not gonna lie. What is going on with Ferrari today, man?
Motor safety car is now out. Valk actually as well off with Lloyd. Something might have happened between them both. I didn't see really what happened. I was looking down at my phone. But something might have happened between Lloyd and Valk both. But now it's playing into Foxy's hands very well. Marquez.
Foxy has to be rubbing his palms at this point. He has inevitably done one of the best strategies at this point. He knows that being on the hard compound for the final few laps will benefit his race strategy at the moment. So what happens next is really down to him. Is he going to go for the pits, or is he going to stay out? Find out in a few laps.
Oh, I think he accidentally just connected. But Valk actually spun around, trying to get back into the correct way. I don't know what has happened to him, but he's not facing the right way. Poor Valk. As Valk is not facing the right way, and Mana actually comes back now. Yay! Another commentator back. Foxy actually does pit, but he will still be third after he does pit.
Honestly, unbelievable. A
Well,
few drivers obviously gave up, such as Tarasevic. Obviously, in his situation, you wouldn't want to be sticking around for about 20 laps, 2 minutes down the field. But drivers like Foxy, who knew that they had an opportunity in this race, they stuck on, and now they've got an amazing opportunity here. One thing I do not understand, though, is I don't know if you were watching this, Texan, but it was all happening so fast that it was just kind of hard to process what exactly happened.
I know that the Ferrari hit the back of, I think, was a Lahama, or was the opposite? No, the Ferrari-
So essentially what happened was...
Oh, as he cuts out there, oh my goodness.
Oh,
what's happened?
goodness me.
You cut out there, what did you want to say?
Essentially what happened is the Lahama of the Ferrari of Link Lloyd went into the back of Marquez, which pushed him off the track. And then, almost as if it was a sort of revenge act, the Lahama of Oscar Valk went into the back of the Ferrari of Link Lloyd, and that pushed both of them off the track. Massive tank slapper into the barrier for the Ferrari. And yeah, honestly,
So many
I'm
things
a bit
happened.
baffled. What I am really excited to see, though, is that Hera Foxley, he's back into play, and he is on the prime strategy at the moment. He's on a set of tyres that will be taking him to the end of the Grand Prix. And the Renault boys, I'm really confused as to what their plan is. Are they going to try to stick on this set of Ultra Softs till the end of the race? Have they pit yet?
Yeah, they all have pitted. The top three here, I think, has pitted. Foxy did pit though last lap, so he
Okay.
does have new tires. But I think the Renaults both pitted before the virtual safety car, so like a lap or two before. So I think they're as well going.
Yes, you're right. They did, and then they missed out on the virtual, and then Hera Foxy benefited greatly. Now, what I'm interested to see is not only is Hera Foxy back into play, so is Marquez, so is Lloyd. The race win could now go to anyone who has the pace to hold out until the final few stages of this Grand Prix. So, as the virtual is ending this lap, that is a shame for the Ferrari of Link Lloyd, who was doing everything in his power to make sure he can get to the grid
I think he will.
before everyone. He should be absolutely pushing it right now.
He is most likely pushing it.
As the gap's now down to 6.6 seconds. There will be a bit of a bunching up here, for sure. Link Lloyd's definitely going to have an opportunity here. I'm really just watching that one gap to see if the Ferrari gets back. I think he's on the same straight as them now.
Yes, he is.
Here he is. You
Yeah,
can see
he's
the red
back.
car slowly blitzing in. I think he's just made it. Perfect timing for the Ferrari. As who is going to take the charge into the final start-finish straight? It is going to be Josh Everts as he goes down into the first few corners of lap 42 of the Austrian Grand Prix. As Knox follows closely behind, and that is a move by Link Lloyd on Valk. I don't even know why Valk is not ceding the position. He is a lapped car.
I think he
That is-
did there, luckily.
He did, but it did look like it was a bit of a more of a mistake as opposed to actually ceding the position. As Hera Foxy's now got an amazing run on the Renault of James Knox. He's trying to shake him off. Is that too many moves under overtaking? Again, that's going to have to be looked into. As down goes Foxy, he's got the better line. He makes the move. He makes the move. The young rookie for a Camper F1 team down into P2 on the slower tyre. It's worked out perfectly. He's done it. And now he's just got his eyes on Josh Everts to try to see if he can get that race win. However, he can't get too complacent. I mean, hell, I can't get too complacent. He still has to fend off Fox. He still has to hand off James Knox for around 15 laps. So how he does that now is going to be the talking point of this race. And can Marquez get involved? Driving for Lahama, can he get the team's first podium? I believe the team's first podium. Have they had a podium yet?
I'm not sure, but all I know is that currently the track is super hot. It's
Goodness me, the tire temps must be shooting through the roof. These guys are going to have to try and manage it as effectively as possible, which means that Foxy is on the perfect tire. The harder compounds usually work well in hotter conditions, so he's going to have to use that to his advantage. He's really thought this through. This has been an amazing bit of brain work from Hera Foxy. However, we can't talk too soon. That we still have a race to go, and James Knox is trying everything in his power to see if he can slot himself before the camber car. Yeah, it's all going down, guys. It's all going down. I'll tell you one thing though, and that's Josh Everts. He's just started building a gap again. You just can't stop him.
Would you like to know the track temperature, actually?
Let's go for it.
60 degrees.
60 degrees of that is the tarmac absolutely yelling and scorching in the heat. That is insane temperatures, and I'm surprised that I've seen no one slip off yet. We are seeing a lot of people go wide at turn 1. We just saw Everts clip the red tarmac there. So it is proving to be difficult conditions. But no one... Oh! That was a late braking move, and I think Knox has just pulled off the move, but he's played wrong by giving Hera Foxy the slipstream, as he's now he's going to try brake as late as possible, squeeze him to the wider line and take the move again. Hera Foxy, what a man, but he's not done yet. James Knox, he's going to go for it. He's going to try and wriggle him through. Oh, and goodness me, they're off! They're off!
That will not be a virtual safety car though, because they're all going again. They haven't crashed into the wall.
Goodness me, it's all gone wrong. Oh, you've got to feel for Hera Foxy. Oh man, I don't even know what happened. I was so immersed in what was happening. I think both drivers just went wide off that corner.
I think so as well, as Knox and Foxy both dropped 2 positions. Marquez into second now. Lloyd
Marquez for Lahama Ferrari is running second. Your eyes do not deceive you, ladies and gentlemen. Lahama is actually in the podium positions in P2. And Link Floyd, who everyone had shut out for this race, is now actually in P3. However, I don't believe Knox is going to be settling for P4 in this race, sorry. He's going to try and go for that move. And here we have Knox going for the move. He's going to try slot, but Link Lloyd on the better rubber. He's going to try and wriggle through that corner. He's going to try everything he can. And he's managed to stick the car ahead. He's kept it going. What a lad.
What good job from the Ferrari there. I am still confused of what happened there. There was so much happening.
There was too much happening. We're going to have to look back on the stream later, because that was a really hairy situation. I'm not going to shout out Hera Foxy yet, though. It all depends on how aggressive everyone gets into these few corners. He's on the better tyre. He's got the tyre most suited for the track temperatures. So how the wear goes into these few corners, we'll have to see. I know for a fact, though, that the Ultrasofts cannot last past, like, 15 laps. So how the Renault drivers are going to sort that out, we'll have to wait and see.
Knox is looking for that move again though for P3. Not yet, he's maintaining that P4, but he is still up his... I think somebody actually spun. I heard a lot of downshifts there.
Did you? What's going on?
I think it was Valk that happened, as Valk
is
in between
now. That? A lot of people coming together. Oh, that's Valk off into the gravel. Oh, the driver running for practically no point has gone off again.
He does have a bit of points though. He is running in 6th.
I tell you what, he has been committed for this race. He's literally going to finish in the points anyway. So the driver went through the wall there. I don't know if I really saw that happening.
Marquez, I think Marquez just disconnected.
Oh my goodness me! Has that actually happened?
Yes, it is. Yes, it has.
Oh
Lloyd is third.
And I thought everyone should be feeling bad for Hera Foxy. The man running in P2 for this race is just disconnected. Oh, you've got to feel for the Lahama boys. Their absolute moment of glory was this moment here, running in the podium positions, and now it's all gone. I'll tell you one thing though, I do not think Lloyd is going to be able to hold out this gap for long. He's definitely at the very least going to have to race that camber if he wants to keep this podium position. So for the first race for Ferrari, are they going to keep this car going in the top 3? Or is the camber car, who is slicing down that gap with every corner, going to have something to say about that? I'll tell you one thing though, I do think Everts has got the win secured. He's 6 seconds clear and counting. So
Yeah, he
I
has
don't
a
know about
really
you.
massive gap actually.
I think it's pretty much sorted at that point, if you ask me. As Lloyd goes a wee bit wide again.
And now the race is calming down once more to the last set of
Oh,
laps. You could take a nap after this race. That's how much action has been happening.
goodness me, my voice is dead. Oh, man. It has been going nicely, I'll give you that, though. Especially the virtuals has been chaotic. It's been
Luckily,
absolutely insane how we've seen some of these drivers being racing. It's been wonderful. It's been nothing short of amazing.
luckily
And
we
I've
did
enjoyed every
not
second of it.
have a rerun of what happened in Baku last race. If you do not know what happened last race at Baku, basically there was a restart of the virtual safety car and everyone just piled up into turn 1.
Yeah, I saw on the replays. Oh, that was chaotic. And then I'm pretty sure you guys had to take the results off of a previous lap because of controversy surrounding Everts winning.
Don't know, might have, but now the Ferrari of Lloyd catching up to Valk. As they both do
Oh
collide,
no!
oh my
Oh
goodness!
goodness me! Quick thinking from Hera Foxley. That could have gotten so catastrophic. What the hell? Valk
What just
and Lloyd
happened?
both spinning at the same time. That was an obstacle course if I had to call one. Goodness me. Heart went pounding when I saw that. What even happened there?
A lot going to be investigated after this race. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, that was close. Holy cow.
Foxy
Tell
is
you
up
what,
at the third there.
kudos for Hera Foxy for dodging that. If it was me, I would have just got straight into the side of the Ferrari. There was no way I would have reacted that fast enough. That was quick thinking. And if I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but I think Knox has just closed the gap to Everts.
Yes, he has. Knox is really catching Everts right now.
He's got 7 laps. He just needs to close 2 more seconds, and then he will be in DRS range. So he needs to try here. If he needs to push the car now, it has to be now. I'll tell you what, though, none of the Renault guys so far this race have made a single mistake. So that shows how high their caliber of racing is.
Really good job from them actually for not colliding a lot with each
Yeah, I
other.
mean, for all the racing they've been doing, they've really kept it clean.
It's amazing though. On my screen it says there's 1 lap remaining, but I don't really think that's right. If it is right, then I would be very confused.
No, it says there's 7 laps left.
Yeah, but on the director's screen it says 1 lap left.
Maybe it's a broken? I'm not entirely sure. I'll tell you what's not broken though. The pace of James Knox as he's closed the gap even more. He's trying everything he can. He knows this is the one opportunity he might get to win a race. I'll tell you one thing for sure. If he doesn't win this race, I'm pretty sure his next race win will be sometime this season because he has been performing amazingly all of this weekend. We have James Knox slowly closing in. The gap was 5 seconds 2 laps ago, 4 seconds last lap, and now it's looking like 3 seconds. Maybe even 2.5. I have to see. Don't jinx anything. Yes, it does look like 2.5 now. He is closing that gap. I think Everts is starting to struggle on that rubber. Can it be a first pole to win conversion for Josh Everts, or will it be a first race win in its entirety for James Knox? Few laps left to go to get the answer for my question.
Let's see if it is the last lap. No, it isn't. It is not.
Yeah, okay, so Seta Course is just having a bit of a nightmare.
So, I think... How many laps? Like...
Well, it's lap 52, so this lap and then 5 more, including.
So, like, 5 laps remaining? Or 6 laps? Or I don't know. Yeah, 5 or 6 laps. Oh, well, I think 6 laps. Or 5. I have no idea. Getting myself confused.
something, honestly, has kicked into James Knox today. He's now only 2 seconds behind. And, like, it's not even like a slow progression. Like, this is like alien level pace that he's got at the moment. How the hell he's able to keep going and pushing that car? He's not even that far off at this point. He's literally 2 seconds. Prediction, right? 5 laps. Not 5 laps. Just give it, I think, second last lap. Second last lap, he's going to make the move for the win. What do you think?
Very ambitious. I think that Everts just gonna keep this gap until the end.
All right. Let's go. Let's keep it, because the progression that I'm seeing in this gap right now, that's something else, man. I think Everts really is trying to conserve his tires at the moment. I think he's got levels of wear that even he is struggling to keep going. Like, see how far he's closed the gap. He's literally in DRS range at this point. As he swings open his letterbox, he's now got the DRS heading into these few laps. Down into the braking zone, obviously a wee bit too far behind to make the move. But he definitely knows he's now back in contention for this race win. One thing I don't want, the team orders. I beg to God, the team orders do not go on at the Red Bull pit wall today.
Team orders are really at play here. Because so far, if there was team orders, they would have not been battling each other this much. Probably would have saved.
Whoever wins deserves it, Ference. That's what I know. At least having watched these guys. Gap now down to 1 second though. 1 second low, and at best it's 0.2 high. So let's see how we fare going into this lap time. If it's not this lap, it's next lap. He has DRS going down into the straight. Come on, James, show us what you can do. As he goes down into this corner here. And now DRS swings open again. He's going to get even closer. It looks like he's got a nice clean run.
The Lloyd might be going for the fastest
Lloyd
lap.
going into the pits?
It is, but he might be going for the fastest lap.
Well, that would be the logical thing to do, but I do think that Knox has been giving it such hell today that Everts is not going. Sorry, that Joe, he's not going to be able to top Knox's lap time. But we'll have to wait and see.
He might be able to, because now it's closing into the final stage of the Grand Prix, so the cars will be lighter.
Exactly. So
I think he might be able
as you can see, we've got Everts under severe pressure from James. I think James has just kept his tires clean. I think he's gonna make the move heading into these final 2 corners.
Not yet, though. 2 laps
Not
remaining
yet.
of this Grand Prix.
He's got to stay patient. He's got to stay patient. Can Everts hold on to this lead? I'm sorry, he's sweating buckets in his cockpit at the moment. As he locks the brakes a wee bit, he goes a wee bit wide. Is that going to give James a wee bit of an opportunity? He's going to slot back into that slipstream pocket. Is he going to try and launch a move? Not yet. He's going to stay patient. 1 more lap, James, and I think we might have him. But he's got to stay patient. He's got to keep the same pace going for the remainder of this lap and sector. Oh, no! He's going to try and make the move right now! Are they going to come together? No, there was a wee bit of tyre banging and James just had to back out there. Everts really trying everything. He's got every trick in the book to make sure he can keep this P1. He wants this pole to win conversion, but James is trying everything he can to see if he can make that move and get his first win in his career of F1AC. We're going into the penultimate lap of this race. Who is going to come out on top?
I don't think it's penultimate just yet.
Crawling in my seat, man.
It might be 2 more laps, so this might be the second last lap. It's not showing really that it's the final lap. I don't think it is the final lap.
I think this is the penultimate. This is the penultimate lap of this race. That's an amazing exit from Everts, but I think Josh got a similar exit as well. I'll tell you one thing Everts does not have. That is the DRS as he goes into this. He's not got a slipstream either, but I think he's just hanged it out in front. And Knox is unable to make the move. But there's a wee bit of sliding on that back end for Everts. As here comes James going as far as he can into the corner, maximising the braking distances.
and he's hanging onto that car. The 2018 car's produced so much dirty air, and it makes it almost impossible to hang on to the driver ahead of you. But James is somehow defying the odds. He's defied the tyre wear. He's defied the slipstream physics. He's somehow holding on, and he's going to try everything. We are into the final lap of the Grand Prix. If it's going to be a move, it has to be in this sector. Otherwise, it's going to be game over for James Knox. Oh, and oh God, as Everts slides out on the final lap of the Grand Prix, he slides and gives James Knox the opportunity. All James has to do now is just keep it clean. But oh my goodness, on the final lap of the race, Everts has thrown in the towel. What has gone on there?
It will still be a 1-2, but not the 1-2 that Josh will be wishing for. As Knox actually gives back the positions to Everts.
Team orders have gone into effect here at the Orange Ring.
I don't think it was team orders. It might have been just from Knox's generosity. Or it might have been team orders. But now they are coming to the final 2 turns. Into the second last turn. This is the final lap. Josh Everts seems to be going to win this race. It is his first time for the pole to win conversion. Josh Everts does win the race across the line. Josh Everts will be very happy about what just happened there, but he will be scratching his head of what just happened.
But, I mean, fair play to Everts, but if you ask me, the winner of this race has to be James Knox. That was in the bag for him. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. We're going to have to investigate. But I think it was either team orders or I think Knox, knowing the championship fight as it is right now, gave the win to Josh. Something I'm not entirely intricate about, but I mean, it's happened, so nothing you can say about it now.
That is this is the Sunday. I'm having a stroke. Too tired now. Foxy does get third place, his first podium position. Good job from everyone. 1-2 for Renault. Renault would be happy with that. I think they might be leading the constructors now, but for me and Mano, enjoy everyone's day. I hope you all have a nice night. See you all, I think, next week for the next Grand Prix. Love you all.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next weekend where things are going to get even more heated between every driver. I think the title fight has really got off to a kickoff, but Everts is the one who's going to be extending his championship lead at the end of the Red Bull Ring, at the end of the Austrian Grand Prix. I want to thank everyone for joining me here and Texan for having me in the commentary box, and I hope to see you all again soon.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.